Well, Laura Blumenfeld is a best-selling author and Middle East analyst in Washington, D.C. I asked what the Biden administration makes of the Iranian attack.
Well, I think the single word coming out of the White House, at least in relationship to the phone call with Prime Minister Netanyahu, was the word disproportionate. The United States has acknowledged that Iran's response to Israel's assassination of those Iranian generals back on April 1st was far beyond what anybody expected. Israel will strike back. The interesting thing about Netanyahu is it tends with him not to be an eye for an eye, but two eyes for an eye. So I think that one thing that the United States is very careful about is and clear is to say that Israel should be proportionate in its response. They didn't coordinate that original strike on April 1st with the United States. And if nothing else, America wants to be looped in this time.
All right. Well, the U.S. has recently been, let's say, more critical towards Israel, yet Biden has just restated his ironclad support for Israel. So where does this actually leave U.S. policy then?
Well, it's fascinating. Yes, as you say, you know, the United States and Israel were fighting over humanitarian aid, and now they're foxhole buddies. I mean, the United States stepped in directly into the battle tonight to save Israel from that swarm of drones and missiles. The question is, can they use that for political leverage, for diplomatic leverage down the line when they need some compromises from the Israeli government? That remains to be seen. But I think certainly they're going to be closely coordinated in their response over the next coming days and weeks with regard to Iran. There's, world consensus that what Iran did was unprecedented and unacceptable. And so it's very different than the humanitarian issue down in Gaza. This battle for Israel is the one they've actually been seeking. It's a long time coming, this confrontation with Iran.
Now, Iran's representative at the United Nations has told the US to stay out of this. So surely it's also in the interest of the US to avoid a regional escalation.
All along, they've been trying to prevent a regional escalation. Our national security priorities in the United States are focusing on a rising China and an increasingly aggressive Russia. Opening a third front with Iran really would just kind of deplete our resources and divert them in areas that we're not interested in. That said, President Biden, a man of few words but many warships, he said don't. Iran did, and now we do have to respond. There have to be consequences, especially in an election year where former President Trump is going to be watching every move, every action the United States takes, and will likely accuse us of weakness.
Can this escalate into a full war between Israel and Iran?
I don't see that happening. I think for Netanyahu, this is a legacy issue for him. He's been very focused on Iran throughout his career. He at one point he thought he might be part of that normalization deal with Saudi Arabia, peace between Israel and Saudi Arabia. That would be his historic accomplishment. But now it's going to be just that kind of final blow to Iran. I don't think that it will be a full-blown war, but I do believe that he's ready to escalate just a little bit. We're going to be looking at kind of diplomatic chutes and escalatory ladders for the next coming weeks.
Thanks for your analysis, Laura. Laura Blumenfeld, best-selling author and Middle East analyst.
Thank you.